Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I'm going to be talking about episode 3 of Invincible. I spent a little bit thinking about what to say. It's been a few days since I've watched it, so if some key details are left out, my apologies. It's just hard to really go into detail. I think this episode, my review of this episode will be a lot shorter than the others, because there's far less to speculate on. It's just a lot of character development, events that are happening because of consequences of previous actions, but also setting up future things. It's not a bad episode by any means of the imagination. It's just not one very conducive for review. But where do I start? I can't remember what her name was, but there is some more development between Mark and that girl. They go on a study date this episode, which does unfortunately get interrupted by Scarface or whatever his name is, just teleporting in and saying, hey, you're a superhero now. You have no private life. Go here and stop a supervillain with Atomic Eve. And he just has to kind of bail on her after trying to make a good first impression. But it works out in the end. Episode caps off on them getting busy. But that's relevant to somebody else's character, so we'll get to that then. If I remember, I could just ramble off on something else entirely and never come back to this. I got used to my hands being higher up so they show up on camera. I have a flat screen TV set up as my monitor for playing games. And it's just on top of that. And the chair's as high up as it will go. I have the arm braces, armrests? God, whatever they are, they're high as it will go as well. So it's very awkward. Anyhow, he goes off to fight Dr. Seismic. Again, part of the problem with being ready and able to kill anyone whenever, wherever, is that you miss out on some good characters. It's not just because, morality, we can't have the hero killing every bad guy they come across. It's also about, having a rogues gallery, a collection of characters that your main character can act off of and have fun interactions with, like Dr. Seismic. He was actually rather a lot of fun, and also a surprisingly serious threat, given, he can just generate earthquakes, and also kind of right, because he's attacking Mount Rushmore, there we are, which does glorify some people, just let alone by necessity of the time they were born, raised, lived, and died in, just had some problematic elements to them, regardless of whatever they personally brought to it. Yeah, some slave owners on there, so that's problematic, and he calls it out, and it's the history of Mount Rushmore itself is so insane. You can't even retain it. It is that baffling. The end point of it was there was no good reason for it to be made, and that pile of stones at the base of it there was just rubble, debris from the construction of it that was never cleared away, and it's not even finished. Mount Rushmore is so baffling, and I'm so surprised anybody would dedicate resources to protecting it. The only thing I will say is that if Dr. Seismic is so concerned about it, its destruction probably isn't what he wants to do, because at least the scale he was, where he's bringing up lava to the surface and whatnot. Because turns out, I can't remember off the top of my name what they called, but an Indian tribe owned the land and was given back to them as a settlement or something by the United States. That's not the right word for it, but basically hey, we took your land, hundreds of years ago, and we can't really change anything about that, but how about we just give you this as a reserve? Yeah, I think that's the word. And we'll just call it square. And, they did that because best option they could get. But wouldn't you know, there was like gold in that area. So it's like, yeah, take backsies. We're just gonna take backsies. I was a bit late on the hand motion, but oh well. So yeah, that's the history of Mount Mushroom. That adds to the runtime of this. Where else was I? Yeah, he dies. That's my point. He dies, but he was like a very interesting character, and I wish he stuck around. Like, I guess the villains don't really matter too much because it is like, even without the meme blowing up, you can tell like there's an end game to this, and unless it's in service of that, who cares what happens to it as far as the plot's concerned? Anything else, kill it or just forget about it. It doesn't matter. We're working towards this one thing. It's not like it's a Batman TV series or any other kind of superhero TV series, animated or otherwise. It can just explore things or whatnot. It has a very plot-focused course that it's taking, and anything tangential will not be explored thoroughly. But yeah, that's just how that's going. There's also, let's see, Omni-Man gives a speech at the funeral for the Justice League Prestige and is kind of like snickering at some of the deaths. So it's like, how is he not caught already? Like, how? He's acting so obviously guilty, and it genuinely feels like he thinks he cannot be touched at all, which might be true, but I gotta say, he is just being too obvious about it. I'm trying to think what else happens with him. Not an overwhelming amount. That's pretty much the be-all end of his and some connection to his wife, which Demon Detective comes back in this and starts asking her questions, planting seeds of doubt. That will pay off in future episodes, but who knows exactly how, because it ends on like Omni-Man being aware of like, ooh, foggy breath in the air. He was here. But that's not really too important. That's just like an end thing, but it's not a spoiler. It's just, well, this whole thing is technically a spoiler. It's not like crucial. It's not a big shocking reveal. It's just like, it's not the picture. It's just a dot that's being connected. So, what else was there? Then it's kind of like Atomic Eve and Robot. We focus some stuff on some character work with them, as Robot is setting up the replacement team for the Justice League Prestige, and goes through some auditions, select some characters. I don't know why they stick to just 7, because like it's some of the most powerful people in the world that were killed all at once and were publicly buried, or had a public event for their deaths and then buried in private. But what was I thinking? You think, especially one of them was a pretty cool electro powers. You think you would bump it up to like 10 or something just to make everyone feel safe and secure. Especially because also, whether he was biased or not, he says he wasn't, but who could say genuinely, outside of him, saying he may not have an objective view on it or his standpoint, and may have selected the rest of the teen team. Oh god, that's so hard to remember straightly. Based on personal bias. Basically, everyone on the team gets in. So if that's, I would have bumped it up to 10 or 11 just to like. I mean, it's his team. He could have just said, yeah, this is my team. I'm not abandoning them. And it just feels a bit reductive given their age. Yeah, they're going to be like in adulthood pretty soon. So let's just roll them into this team instead of saying that their own separate thing that I'm also a part of. Like, he just could have 100% done that and like also 7 of the world's best superheroes or whoever showed up and passed the auditions on the team as well. And to be quite frank, I would have expected him more if he had just done that. Like, just own up to your biases. It is impossible to completely remove yourself of every bias, So it's just a lot better if you're straightforward and honest about it. Throughout the course of that, we do see, I want to say, some character moments. I was going to jump into the name. Rex Explosion, I think his name is. Atomic Eve and stuff related to him and him just cheating on him recently. I hope that didn't make a noise. I remembered it was like there and I can't stop myself. I may have heard it. Anywho, we see some character stuff between them. And it's like, again, like, is he die? Is like does he have some kind of progressive condition because of his powers? I don't know. If it is the case, I wish they were straightforward about that. So instead of surprise strategy, it's like, yeah, my powers are just removing all my ability to control my impulses. Like, that actually would have been kind of gripping and tragic to just see as part of the narrative. Anywho, some character stuff between that and the rest of the team stuff, and her being like, I don't know if I can be on a team with them. You know, like, just straight up refusing it at first. And we'll probably join eventually, but like, definitely still feels hurt by what happened. And again, we see her go and try and seek comfort from Mark, only to stumble upon, I still can't remember the name, the girl and Mark getting busy. And, you know, something cheap joke about her, like, being a voyeur and a sea queen. I don't know if that's explicit enough or is well known enough to get me demonetized. So, lazy jokes. Are they better? Are they worse? I don't care. This is 12 minutes with like probably a minute then to edit out. Yeah, this one's a lot shorter. What else was there to wrap this up on? Thanks for watching all of this. Well, actually, no, that's for the pre-recorded outro. What I don't have included in that, I may have to do in a future one. Excuse me, just that up on my nose. Twitch and YouTube streaming gaming channel. What's it? I won't go into specific upcoming ones because I don't know when I'm going to get this edited and uploaded. But overall, I just like to stream games through to completion as much as I can. Or just like little one-off insims, depending on how long they're like available on Game Pass. Sometimes I like try something out before it leaves and do a stream based on that. Anywho, Sod Passion Gaming, you can search that on YouTube or Twitch, but far more effectively, just go to the About section of this channel and click on the link there. And I think I have both linked by default into the video description below, but I'm a lot more certain about the About section, so check that out. That would be very much appreciated. And now, got the outro. Bye. Why am I have bye in the outro? Cut now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you had a wonderful time. Be sure to like, comment, share the video about the place, and to subscribe. And also, if you're feeling exceptionally generous, take a look at my Patreon. Thank you very much for your time. Ta-ta, Wiedersehen, until we meet again.